Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you, sir?
I'm doing super. How about yourself?
If I was any better, I would be you.
Oh,
Sitting at home, enjoying life, just, just being the man.
sure. It's nice. It's kind of nice, to be honest.
Yeah, the man of your house. You got the blurred bookshelf in the background. You're looking good, man.
Yeah, those are all really prestigious books about science and math and medical stuff. That's what they are all about. So,
I You can't tell. It's blurred out back there, but I can kind of see where it says medical stuff on one of the books.
yes, it's medical Bible.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, we are not together in studio today. Unfortunately, I'm out of town. So we are doing this over Zoom. Uh, so still got a video to put up on the YouTube. Follow us on all those good things with the YouTubes and the iHearts and the what else we got there, Ad?
iTunes and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud and what's the big one that Joe Rogan's on? Uh,
Yep.
you know, the black and green logo, uh,
Spotify.
Spotify. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean
All of them.
you look at the top three on Spotify. It goes Rogan, Nosebleeds, and then probably one of those true crime podcasts or something.
Yeah, apparently that's like the big thing. The true crime podcasts are apparently like what started podcasts, the way I understand it.
Yeah, been around for a long time.
Didn't know that. Well, Adam, we're going to talk a little bit of sports today. Aaron Judge is doing some crazy things. Um, but before we get to that, let's start off with our favorite segment. Even though we are not together, we're still going to have a Reese's segment.
Still making it happen for the people. The people
With
love
that,
the Reese's segment. We're gonna
with
make it
that
happen.
being, yeah, with that being said, Adam took a picture of three Reese's things that he purchased and just said, "Hey, if you can get one of these, let's do it." I got one. Probably my least favorite of all three is the only one at the gas station I was at. Do you want to
Okay,
take a guess?
I could because I have a least favorite of the three as well.
Okay,
And since you and I have a very similar taste for Reese's,
sure.
um, because we're men of intelligent palates.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, so I'm gonna say my least favorite is the Reese's Dark Thins.
Oh man. You know
Nope.
what?
Oh,
There is one difference in our palate.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess. It's the it's the crunchy snack cake.
No.
Oh, that's the last one.
All three are probably not my favorite Reese's things, but the wafer, I'm not a wafer guy. I'm
Ah,
not a wafer guy.
is that what this
Um,
is? Oh, that
it,
is what this
it
is.
looks like it's a way. So we've got the Reese's Crispy Crunchy
Says here
inside.
chocolate, peanut butter, crispy peanut butter candy, and peanuts. Okay.
I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised.
Same. So this might be like a Butterfinger, sort of, with peanuts, which, eh.
All right. So we both taken the first bite. As always, my favorite thing to say, Adam, first impressions.
It is like a Butterfinger to me. That that crisp, that peanut butter crisp in there, the consistency at least, maybe not exactly the taste, but the consistency reminds me of Butterfinger. Butterfinger was my favorite candy bar for a while growing up. Sure,
I
it gets caught,
loved,
sure it gets caught in your teeth, but it's
I
a tasty treat.
love, I love The Simpsons. Bart Simpson, one of my all-time favorites. Never in my life have I bought myself a Butterfinger because I think they're disgusting.
Okay, So that makes me think that your first impression, if you think anything about a Butterfinger on this, that makes me think that you're not going to be a fan here.
It's not terrible. I haven't had a Butterfinger in so long. I probably enjoy it more than I act like I would,
Mm.
but not bad. 1 to 10. What are you giving it?
I'm going for the Reese's Crispy Crunchy 7.9.
Wow, that's low.
But I still like it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little low compared to some of the other stuff we've had.
I'm going with a 8-1. I'm going to put this higher than you did it. I'm a little surprised. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to
All right. We're still very close.
be.
7.9 for me, 8.1 for you on the Reese's Crispy Crunchy. All right. Good work there. While we're chewing on this, let's chew on what we think about Aaron Judge. A few weeks ago, we talked about Aaron Judge on this
Yeah.
podcast in comparison, especially with Shohei Ohtani, talking about the MVP, the American League MVP. Since then, Shohei Ohtani has dropped off a little bit. He's still a player that we've never seen in our lifetime because he's one of the best pitchers and hitters in the game, especially pitching. But since then, Aaron Judge has gotten even better, and he is on a tear right now. His last 10 games, he's 10 for 20, so he's hitting 500 in his last 10 games. He's got 10 RBIs. He's got not including tonight, which is there's a game going on right now that we already know he's had 2 doubles in. So including tonight, his average in his last 11 games is still 500. 10 RBIs, 5 home runs, I think, in that time. He had 2 in a game on Sunday. And then the one he had last night from the time we're recording this was his 60th home run.
Unbelievable.
60th home run that put him at that, over that, or at that special number mark. 60 is 59 to 60. There's like a massive difference there. 60 just looks a lot better. It also put him in the lead in all 3 statistical categories that qualify him for the Triple Crown.
He is currently winning the Triple Crown.
So batting average is hitting 316.
He's winning the MVP. I mean, he's already won the MVP. It's over, right? The MVP race is over. Aaron Judge. Here's my question for you. Does it not feel the same? His baseball lost so much that when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were doing this, it just doesn't have that same feeling that it did then. Aaron Judge is now one of 5 people to hit 60 home runs. If he does one more, he'll be one of 4 people to hit 61 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? 1, 2, 3, one of 5 people. He'll be the 5th. He'll be the 5th with 61. This is unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this from a non-steroid using player. We've never seen it. Is if he breaks 61 and gets 62, is he the home run champion?
No, not to me. And to answer your first question, yeah, this doesn't have the same bite for me that home run race between McGwire and Sosa in '98 did. It just doesn't. Even knowing, and to answer your second question, no, it doesn't make him the. Now it makes him the American League single season home run champion, but it just doesn't. McGwire and Sosa both hit over 61, and Bonds hit 73. in a season. So I know even with the steroid stuff, even with the HGH and the Viagra and whatever else they were taking, I it just doesn't. The number is the number. They have not decided to put an asterisk next to it in the record book or anything like that yet. So the number is the number. And to be honest, for kids born in the last 5, 10 years, 15 years, maybe even, they are not as aware of the McGuire, Sosa, Bond stuff. Kids at your son's age. Now, he might know more than a lot of other kids because his dad's a baseball nut, but for a lot of kids that are growing up and love baseball, Aaron Judge is going to be the home run king. For
Yeah.
guys like you and me in our early 60s, no, it's just not. I don't know.
It just so all right. So before we get into the numbers, because we'll get into the numbers here in a little bit.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk numbers after this. Um, but you talked about how there's no asterisks next to the home runs and all that stuff. And did you know that for Roger Maris's entire career, there was an asterisk next to his home run total for until he died? He was dead for years before they took the asterisk off of his 61 home runs being regular season because they said he did it. It took him more games, and it was a longer season at that point. Yada yada yada. There's 50 more bats. He did it. He hit 61 and 590 at bats. Babe Ruth did it in 540 at bats. Aaron Judge 529 at bats to get to 60. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive. Yeah, the Billy Crystal movie about the Roger Maris 1960, was it 1961? He hit 61, wasn't
He hit 61 and 61. Yeah.
it?
Babe hit 60 and 27, and Maris hit 61 and 61.
Yeah, that movie was called 61 asterisk. I mean, usually don't say that part of it, but it had the asterisk on the title for that reason. So, and that was a cool movie. If you've never watched that movie and you like baseball, definitely go check that movie out, especially now since Aaron Judge, another Yankee, by the way, is kind of chasing him down and is probably going to pass him.
He's one home run away. He's on pace for 66, which is to me is so amazing. And I remember when Bonds and Sosa were going after this, and they were cutting into regularly scheduled programming on multiple channels to watch each at bat they had. I was in my dad's basement, and they jumped in for McGuire when he hit 62. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
Yep. I had a VHS tape in and was recording every time they broke into his at bats. I have his 60-second on VHS.
That is who we were then. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't. Baseball is losing its luster. We hear about it all the time. The kids don't care about it. This, that, and the other. It has never felt more realistic until right now. This feels like this is realistic.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. It doesn't feel the same to me either. And I still love baseball, but I watch less of it now. I don't keep up. At one time, I feel like I could name 80% of the players on almost every baseball team. Now I can name maybe 5% of the play.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't keep up with it as well. It just doesn't. You're right. It doesn't have the exact same luster that it used to, and I don't know if it's. I guess it must be for a lot of people because you're saying the same thing. I was thinking maybe I've grown up and I've gotten into some different things, and maybe I think I'll turn on a comedy podcast before I'll turn on a Mets Phillies game on a Tuesday night now, and I definitely didn't used to do that before, but for you to say that really jumps out at me.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. So Bonds and McGuire that was 98, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Bonds and McGuire, Sosa McGuire.
Sosa McGuire, yeah.
2001 was Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
By the way, if you look at Barry Bonds' home run totals, like just randomly a 73, that's insane. It's stupid. The guy never hit
He
50. He never hit 50 home runs
before that,
or after.
really,
He hit 49 the year before, 46, 45, 45. Never hit over 50.
I was thinking
And
he
then he hit
followed up with
73.
man.
Insane. Besides the point, getting off of that, of course, next year he walked almost 200 times, which is a record still to this day.
Yep.
Let's talk. So growing up, so that was so those 2 years apart from each other when they did that. It's been since Bonds, it's been 21 years, 22 years, 22 years. No, 21 years. It's
21.
2022. 21 years. So in 98, 21 years before that would have been 77. Maris hit it 61, 61. So that's 37 years before that. Growing up as kids, we knew how many home runs Babe Ruth hit. We knew how many home runs Roger Maris hit. We knew how many total home runs Hank Aaron had. We knew how many total home runs Babe Ruth had. Those are numbers that were set in our brains.
Mm-hmm.
And it like baseball and numbers are so incredible and they mean so much. They don't it doesn't feel like it means the same. I forgot that Bonds. I didn't. I knew it was 70 something. I couldn't have told you it was 73. Do you know how many total home runs Barry Bonds has?
762.
Oh, okay. Did you look it up?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
I
But
knew it
you
was
wouldn't know.
760 something, but I didn't know exactly the number. No.
Right. So, you know, we know that that Hank Aaron hit 755 home runs.
Yeah.
We know that Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs, and that was the key. Those were the numbers that Aaron was chasing, and then Maris chased 61, and then everybody chased 61 or chased 60. Everybody chased 61. These numbers are incredible. Do you remember how many home runs Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa or Mark McGwire hit? McGwire was the one who ended up breaking the record and holding it. Do you remember how many home runs he had that year?
He hit 770, right?
I
Was
I don't know.
I think
I'm
it was
asking you.
I,
I'm
I
gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna tell you. But that's my thing. Is you're thinking. I think
yeah.
it was 70. It was 70, and he had 65 the next year.
Yeah.
That's insane. Don't even think about those things. Don't even pop up in our heads.
Yeah, and is that are the numbers and what they mean now, do they mean less because of McGuire and Sosa and Bonds and what we know about them now and a big
I,
reason why they reach those numbers?
I think they do. To me, it is. To me, it is because it's a record that was held for so long and then just obliterated over the span of 3 years. And then nothing ever came close again.
Yeah.
How can you not? How can you not? How can that not taint all of those records?
Yeah. It does. It certainly does a little bit. It's hard not to think, the home run record, I could still consider Hank Aaron the home run king, you
All
know?
right. Well, if that's the case, then you would consider Roger Maris the single season home run king. Because if you're saying because of steroids and everything, well, that's the same reason that they hit their single season home runs too.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm okay. See, I'm just not, and at one time I was, but I'm just not anymore so dead set on I've got to be a purist. I've got to be, if there's any talk at all about anybody doing anything that was enhancing their performance,
I'm
it doesn't count.
I'm with you.
And,
I'm
and
with you.
I'm not like that anymore. So
I'm with you on that. Like I'm like it's time to put Bonds in there. It's time to put Clemens in there. What those guys did on the field, it's time,
yeah,
right? They should be in the Hall of Fame. They're Hall of Famers. They had a Hall of Fame career before they blew up. They had a Hall of Fame career during and after and everything else. Hall of Fame career. My point is when you look at those 3 years, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 4 years, it is stupid. It's stupid how different it is from the entire from the last 30 years, 50 years of baseball history in a span of 4 or 5 years. Like that's my part where I Aaron Judge beats Roger Maris. He will forever be, I will consider him as the home run, single season home run king who did it the right way. I mean, Barry Bonds is always going to have that record. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But Judge is a freak in nature. This guy's going to win he's going to win the Triple Crown. He's going to win the MVP. He bumped his average up again today to 317. He's already got 100 and some RBIs. I'm sorry, I've done switched over to Mark McGwire now. 128 yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable what he did. And he's hit 60 in less at bats than it took for Ruth or Maris to do it as well. So you couldn't even put an asterisk next to this dude's name like they did to Maris for those years.
You know what numbers I want to find is the biggest margin between first and second place in a season, because he is 20 home runs ahead of the guy in second place, which is Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber has 40 home runs, and he has the second most home runs in Major League Baseball. That's unbelievable. I feel like that might be a record for the biggest margin between first and second.
That's a good question.
Because to me, that makes
it. We'll get Hembo on it.
Check it out, Hembo. Let us know. That makes it even more impressive. I mean, that he's dominating the league this bad or this much. And you know what's funny is I got home tonight, knew they were playing, and I turned on MLB Network because I figured if anybody's going to break into the Yankees games, it's going to be that. They did break in for the second at bat, I think, but so far I think that was the only one that I saw. And maybe they did break in, and I just missed it because I was doing something else. But I've had MLB Network on to see if they broke in, and it just doesn't seem like it's as big. They're talking about them, but I mean, the coverage, it was national news. To your point, they were breaking into other stuff, and they're talking about it on Good Morning. They're talking about Mark McGwire on Good Morning America in 60 Minutes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that stuff's not happening with Aaron Judge right now.
Yeah.
And maybe if he was at 69 or 70 and he was going to break Bond's record, maybe it'd be different. But even then, I'm not sure.
What if he gets to 62? What about when he gets to 62? Is that the number that starts bringing on more? Because then he becomes the American League home run king, single season home run king.
He might get on a couple of talk shows, a morning show, something like that. But it's not. I still don't think it's going to have the same fanfare. I don't think it's going to have the same coverage. And for whatever reason, but I think it's because you're right about it. Just people in general, the mass population is not as interested anymore. I don't know. Yeah.
It's a sad thing. All right. So that brings me to a question I'd like to ask you. In baseball or basketball or football or anything, what is the most important number in all of sports history? What is the number that most, maybe not the most important, but most memorable, most known in households everywhere? Like if you said the number 56, you know, is that going to be the most known number for consecutive games with a hit, or 100 with most points ever scored in a game by Will Chamberlain, 60 because it was held for 40 some years for Babe Ruth with home runs, 61 for Maris, because that became another, 35 years of 30 some years of being held. What is that number?
That's hard to say. I think it's probably 100 points. Um, from
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. But talking about specific sports though, in baseball, I think for a long time, I don't know if that's the case anymore. For a long time, it might have been 500 home runs. Um,
Sure.
I mean, the
Because
five
that was a magic number. That was a magic number to 3,000 hits was a magic number to get
3,000
in the
hits.
Hall of Fame. 500 home runs, magic number to get in the Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see those being with them too.
Yeah. And
100%
then,
being numbers.
and now 600, because there are more guys that have 600 home runs.
It's still not that many, but yes, there are more. I mean, Albert Pujols right now is 2 home runs away from 700 home runs.
I want him to get 700 home runs so bad. I can't even tell you. I just
I,
want to see him get to 700.
it would be the most amazing feat to have him do that, knowing this is his last year, and finish his career out at 700 and being one of three players to have hit. Sorry, four players to have hit 700 home runs. That's insane, insane.
Yeah. And he was the best player in baseball for a long time.
A
Um,
very long time.
yeah.
It's the
Uh,
only way that happens.
if I'm pitching for a team that is well out of contention and he's got 699 and it's like the last weekend of the season, I am Chris Witt underhand softball Sunday night softball pitching him a, just a lob.
Amen. I'll tell you what though, he probably would miss that. You got to put a little cheddar on it, right?
Okay,
You're not.
I'm
Don't go
throwing
up
him an
there and get
89. I'm throwing him an 89 mile an hour fastball right down the middle of the plate,
yak gone.
or wherever he likes it. I'm gonna check
Yep.
his what do you call that?
Hot zones.
His hot zone. If he likes it up and in, if he likes it out middle a little bit, I'm putting it wherever he likes it.
Absolutely. I love. Yeah, that's yeah, 100%. I'm with you. I would do the exact same thing because that right now means more to me than Judge getting 60.
Yeah,
I think that's bigger right now. I think you'll see more fanfare for it and stuff like that as well.
definitely. Aaron Judge has a long, great career ahead of him. He's still young, um, and he's like almost Bond's size from '01 now without
Yeah, but he
the help.
started that way as a rookie
Yeah, he started 6'7", 220 or 30 or
and
whatever.
runs like a deer, can play center field and has an incredible arm. This kid is incredible.
He has 16 stolen bases, which in today's game is a lot,
Yeah. Yep.
um, especially for a power hitter.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that hit for power. We saw guys, shortstops, guys with speed that started hitting for power in the 2000s and stopped stealing bases after that.
Yep. A Rod,
A Rod,
guys like
uh,
that. Tejada.
what was his name? Shortstop for the Mets. Uh, uh, shoot. Anyway, shouldn't have said it if I can't remember his name. And then he played. Okay, I'll think of it later.
Where did he go to after that?
Um, he was with the Mets. Rafael Soriano is another one. Um, God, Jose Ramirez? No,
Jose Ramirez is third baseman for the Indians.
Jose. Oh, shortstop for the Mets in the
When?
2000s. Huh?
In the 2000s?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I couldn't even tell you. I don't know.
Anyway,
I'm lost. I used to be able to do that stuff off the top of my head all the time.
yeah, I can't remember anything. Okay, so it'll be exciting for us. We're checking out we're watching our phones, we're watching TV as much as we can to try to see Aaron Judge because he seems like a good kid and everything. We're trying to see him hit 60, hit 61, hit 62. I'll be excited for that. As excited as
100%.
I was in 98 or 2001, no,
Nope.
no. And you
Nope.
know
But
what?
he's not. But
The
like
fact,
you said, he's not going after the record either.
yeah, right. The American League record, but how much does that mean?
Yeah.
But it would be really cool to see him win the Triple Crown. I would love to see that. That's an even bigger deal, honestly.
That's so cool. I mean, Fred Lynn and or Carl Yastrzemski,
Shermsky.
and then it was a long drought
Mhm.
until you got to Miguel Cabrera,
Yeah.
and then after Cabrera, here we are. So in the National League, I don't think there's been one since Frank Robinson or something like that. I couldn't even tell you who the last one was.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, that'd be cool. I love that. That's a super cool stat. I remember when Carlos Delgado was really close to it when he played for the Blue Jays, and everybody was watching to see if he could possibly get the triple crown, and that was one of the coolest things in the world because I was that triple crown. I had never seen one in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel Cabrera won it, and it was like, wow, that was pretty neat. And it just did again when Cabrera won it, the fanfare didn't seem to be there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Those are all things that are just unbelievable to me, and they go by the wayside these days, which is a crying shame. Um, so far, our pulse is 0 for 1 tonight um, in San Diego.
All right. Well, milestones are fun. Um, but we have got to get into, you want to do NFL picks? So
Absolutely.
we forgot week 1, forgot all about it. Week 2, you remembered. I didn't. I still didn't remember. You remembered. So week 2, on the spot, we picked them last week. And I've got the results here, Chris,
I
and
can't wait.
I know.
I
Uh,
know I missed at least one. I
you
got a
missed.
feeling I might have went 0 for 3.
Wow. Uh, well, I'll just tell you, you were 0 for 3.
Oh,
You started the season 0 and 3, and I started the season 0 and 3.
oh,
So we
good.
we
So we're
both
tied.
we both had awful weeks. Anyway, on to week 3. Let's not even talk about week 2.
That's easy enough.
On to week 3, we have got there are a few games that are pretty interesting to me. Um, and again, Chris always says it. We're doing this from the ESPN app on Wednesday. Whatever the spread is there, that's just what we chose. There's no significance to that. We just chose that to be our mark. That's how we're choosing here. Chris, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I'll start off in Indianapolis. I'm gonna take the road favorite in that game, and I'm gonna take Kansas City minus 5.5. Kansas City's hotter than a firecracker right now. Um, let's see, and then my next game is going to be in Tennessee. I gotta have at least one home dog. That is the way I always like to do it. Tennessee is terrible. I don't know what's going on with them, but Vegas is struggling as well. I just got a feeling maybe they're in Tennessee. Maybe we can pull something out. I'm going Tennessee +2. And then last but not least, Jimmy Garoppolo is back under center. And I am taking San Francisco every chance I get because that guy got screwed royally. They won 70% of games that he started. 70% of games. That means they were 7-10 consistently. I'm sorry, 10-7 consistently when he starts. That is very, very good football. 70% of his games, they won. Is that right? Seven out of no,
Seven,
yeah,
seven,
they won
three.
7 out of 10. So that'd be
Right.
7-3. Sorry. That's incredible. That is really good football. 14-6. Keep going. Those all sound good. So he got screwed by the San Francisco 49ers. And now it's time for him to make a buttload of money. He's on a 1-year deal there. Trey Lance, their future is down again. He's going to come out and play his brains out. This is Sunday Night Football in Denver, San Francisco -1.5.
Right on. All right. Kansas City, Tennessee, and the 49ers. I am going with, I'm going to start in New York. New York Football Jets play the Cincinnati football Bengals. And the Bengals are a 5-point road favorite against the Jets. Almost forgot. Almost forgot what that was. 5-point favorite at 0-2. They're still a favorite. Everybody knows the Bengals are better than 0-2. Are they 5 points better? Are they 5 points better on the road? I don't know, but I'm taking the Bengals in that.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I like it.
This is the turnaround. This is where they turn it around. Uh, this would be a good game. Green Bay at Tampa Bay. Uh, Aaron Rodgers is really Joey Vottoing it up. I mean, he is going on all the podcasts. He's doing all kinds of interviews, and he's
Mm-hmm.
kind of letting loose. He's not being like real careful about what he says and things like that. He's taking ayahuasca and all kinds of things. Um,
I don't know what that is, but it sounds fun.
yeah, it's some kind of like drug that really takes you on a
Oh, I
real
thought it was a
journey.
place. I thought it
Oh
was a
no,
place.
no, that's a drug. Uh, so anyway, they're in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a 1-point favorite at home against Green Bay. I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa Bay to win it
Gotcha.
by more than one. The third one, I had this written down. I know we don't normally do this, but I'm sticking with the 49ers. I'm going with you and the 49ers in that game. It's early in the season. If it was late in the season and we were battling
Sure.
out, I'd change it up. But
Absolutely.
I'm with you on that. I think that's a good pick. 49ers, 1.5-point fave at Denver.
I like it.
We've got our picks
All
for
right.
week three.
That's the picks for weeks three. If you paid attention to week two, you didn't win any money, and we apologize. But on to week three. Uh, so, Adam, that brings us to the next segment of the podcast, which you had a Mount Rushmore for us. And that Mount Rushmore, my friend, was the Mount Rushmore of superpowers.
Superpowers. That's right. That's right. Could be anything, by the way. It could be something that already exists. It could be something from your imagination. Anything you can think of. Any kind of superpower.
Okay.
That's it.
I like it. I
I'm
like
really
it.
excited to hear what you came up with. I feel like I had no creativity. I had one thing that I thought of that I'm like, yep, I think I would like that I haven't heard anybody else talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe it already exists somewhere, but I haven't seen it. The rest of them are boring. So you go first.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've always said my entire life, if I ever became some kind of billionaire or, had millions and millions and millions of dollars, I would build a house. And in my house, there would be one room that would be a zero gravity room. I think that'd be the most fun thing in the entire world. It's one of I think about it all the time. That being said, number one, being able to fly. It's as boring as it gets. Every superhero can do it. Being able to fly. Um, Before we get into some of these, I like to say fast is speed, like speed fast. No thanks. No thanks. You can't control that. I can't control a car when it's going super fast, much less I'm going to run into something. It's going to hurt. I mean, a bug. If you hit a bug when you're running that fast, it's going to leave a bruise. No, I'm good. No thanks. X-ray vision. Everybody talks about X-ray vision. Why would I want X-ray vision? I don't want to look at people's bones all the time. Why would I want to look at bones? Now, can you have like close ray vision where you just their clothes disappear? That's a different thing, I guess. I don't know if that's there, but I would love to walk around and see people naked. I think that'd be fun. I would enjoy that. I'm not putting that out there though, because I don't think that's a superpower.
Okay.
Uh, so I'm gonna go with number two. I'm gonna go with is uh, being able to hear people's thoughts, hear what people think. Uh, I'm very, as much as I love being outgoing and crazy and silly and stuff, I'm very self conscious at the same time, all the time. I just don't put it out there. I try not to let anyone know that how much I care about how much people think about all kinds of stuff. But it means so much to me, it's not even funny. I would love to be able to hear people's thoughts. Uh, Third, mind control. I want to be able to like walk up to you and go, think in my head, scratch your ear, and then boom, you scratch your ear. 100%. That's one I would go with. I gotta tell you, bub. Number four, it probably silly, but I was trying to think of something, and I'm not a superhero guy. I never read Marvel books. I never did the comic strips or books or whatever they are. I do read the comics on the in the newspaper, but there's no superheroes in those. I don't do the Comic Con. That's not my thing, right? So I don't know a ton. But yeah, number four, I'd like to be able to breathe underwater.
Aquaman style.
Sure.
Okay.
There you go. That's my four.
Nice. Um, Speaking of that, how's your fishing tonight?
Big old zero. Started raining on me. I took off. Didn't get any good fishing today, unfortunately.
All right.
All right, though. We're getting close. I'm finding some new spots.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, fishing would be a whole lot easier if you could breathe underwater. So
Yeah.
go down there and follow the fish, and
Grab one.
yeah, just grab them up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, those are all really good. By the way, I agree with you. Number one, I was never a superhero guy. I don't watch the movies. I've seen a couple of them just because other people wanted to go or whatever, and I went. Um, wasn't a comic book guy or anything like that. But and I thought the same thing about the speed. I thought the same thing you did.
Sounds terrible.
I mean, I'm sure it could, you could be a great baseball player because you'd never get caught stealing. But and I guess you score. I guess you score every time you make contact or get on base. But uh, besides that, yeah, I mean, it's 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 just okay. I'm starting with flying though. You're right. If I can get everywhere a lot faster if I can fly. And I don't even have
Mm-hmm.
to I don't even have to be able to fly 6,000 miles an hour.
I don't
Just need to be
know.
able to fly.
Yeah.
You
I
can
fly
you
as
can
fast as I could. If I could fly as fast as I could run, I'd be happy.
you can go in a straight line anywhere.
Exactly.
Good call on that. The other one I was kind of surprised to hear you say, but excited, mind reading. I for the same reason, I want to be able to know who doesn't like me, why they don't like me.
How can I better myself?
Right. um, so I would like to be able to read people's thoughts, know what they're thinking. I feel like you could maybe help cool a situation from boiling. You see somebody getting upset about something and they're about to
Yep.
say something that's going to escalate a situation or something, and you can help stop that stuff like that. Um, you know, if you're a single person and you're dating or you're out in public, and as a shy person, especially as a male, it's tough to just gather up the courage to approach a lady that you find attractive. If a lady finds me attractive though, and I can see that in her mind, okay, now I know there's something there.
Got
Now
some
I
confidence.
now I've got a little confidence. That's it. That's it. Number three, I'm going invisible.
Oh
If I can,
man, can I make that my third one instead?
you can if you want.
I'm
Yeah.
changing it. I want to be invisible. 100%. That may be my number one. I didn't think
Wow.
about that. That might be number one. Oh my
I,
God, that'd be so much fun.
a lot of you, I mean, you go anywhere you want to because you're invisible. Anywhere. And you escape from any situation you want to because you're invisible. I mean, any way you want to use it. Being invisible would be unbelievable. Number four, here's the thing. Here's the only one that came out of my own brain. I hate being hot. I hate being cold. Climate controlled. If I could
Nice.
control the climate, either everywhere or just where I'm at or just my body temperature, if I can just have an even comfortable body temperature where the sun or the heat doesn't bother me, the freezing cold doesn't bother me, that would be a great superpower for me.
Wow, I like that one. That's a good one, bro. Good
Thank
one.
you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Well, there you go. That's the Mount Rushmore of superpowers, my friends.
Mm-hmm. If you are watching or listening, reach out to one of us on Twitter. I'm Adam Schmidt 44. You're sick with it. WHITTIT SIC WHITTIT. Let us know. Let us know what you think. Nosebleed Sports Podcast on Facebook, whatever. Comment on iTunes or whatever. Reach us however you can. Let us know what your superpowers would be if you have some different from us. Um, Chris, we you chose the comedy special for last week for this week.
Did.
You chose a person with a new Netflix special, and it was a person that I was not familiar with,
Nope,
which is
never heard of this
which
dude.
is always exciting. Could be terrible, could be incredible, could be somewhere in between. Sheng Wang was the special. It
Sweet,
was title
sweet,
was
sweet and juicy.
Sweet and Juicy. Sweet and Juicy. Sheng Wang. This was what you your pick. Start us off. What do you think?
Um, I didn't like bust out laughing the entire time, but he's a good storyteller. This dude tells some. He's got that slow, methodical kind of hippie vibe to him, and and he's he's got I don't know how else to describe it except for that, but his punchlines are out there and a little different. You know what I mean? So that makes me happy when I'm not ready for it because it just not that it doesn't make sense, but that it's just different from what you're thinking. Like he's talking about going and getting new underwear because he figured out he needed to because one of his balls smacked against his leg during basketball and he was afraid someone was going to call foul. So he got some briefs. He hasn't got briefs in however long. He thinks he might have got panties, but they just way they fit him, and he starts doing all. Oh, so that was so good. There's some really he had some really good jokes in here. I got to tell you, man. I mean, I liked it. I wasn't dying laughing. I
Okay.
did laugh. I did smile the entire time. I thought every joke was good. Um, his delivery is fun. It's different. It's trying to think of who you could describe it as. Maybe Chong, whatever his name is. Maybe not, but he's not like that hippie high. He's not that high kind of a feeling. But it's give me it. Who is it? You got it in
I
your head.
I the whole time I was thinking I have a comparison, and you described this person exactly the way the kind of hippie thing and his kind of out there punchlines and jokes and stuff like that. You described, and this is not perfect every time every joke, but I saw a lot of Mitch Hedberg in this guy.
Oh, oh my
A
God.
lot of Mitch Hedberg in this guy.
Yes, 100%.
I
And he's 42, right? So
yeah,
he's older. So I guarantee he was around like that had to be an influence on him
of course. He's a
for
couple years
sure.
old, a couple years older than us, and we love Mitch Hedberg.
Exactly. That is it. You're exactly right. That's the way this dude. I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I'm not like going 4.6, 4.7, 4.8. I'm not getting that high, but I'm not getting into. I'm going to stick at the four. I'm just going to go 4.1. I feel like he's got room to get better, but I still feel like it was good. It was all around really good.
I couldn't agree more. Um, I think a really good joke writer. I think he did a good job, and this is more a personal preference thing. But I like the shorter jokes with the setup and the punchline normally.
Mhm.
But there are good comics that do more storytelling. I think he was a good mix.
He did a great mix. Great mix.
Yeah.
And you were just talking about Mitch Hedberg. I was just thinking that was a total Mitch Hedberg when he talked about the juicer, and
Yeah.
then he would get into it's bad when he goes on top of the fridge with the old dust that's going to eventually become oil, like
Yeah.
the greasy dust. That was a Mitch Hedberg esque
Yes. Yes.
describing something so vividly that is in our it's in everyone's everyday life.
Sometimes the pace of how he delivered in his voice. I mean, I heard Mitch Hedberg in some of those jokes, like the way
Yeah,
he said it exactly. I'm like, whoa, that's
yeah.
exactly how Mitch Hedberg would have done that joke.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and probably a little mix of some other people too. Like I said, not every joke was like that because he was more storyteller. You know, he was more of a storyteller than Mitch Hedberg. And he would get, he had a little bit faster pace here and there, but that really jumped out at me. Um, Talked about buying pants at Costco. You get to that point in your life that you just don't care as much anymore. You're buying Kirkland pants. Um,
That was a good one.
the Mounds candy bar for some reason. It's a gross candy bar, but it's his favorite for some reason.
When they could come up with a better name than piles
Yeah.
and mounds.
um, Something I related to so much was flooding your counter when you're trying to clean a cookie sheet. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's seen me in my house. Oh man. Let's see. He's he's not well read, but his books are well traveled. I related to that too.
That was a
I've
good
gone
one.
on a few trips. I'm like, I'm gonna have some time here and there to read. Do I read at home? Of course not, but I'm definitely gonna take a book with me when I go on vacation because I'm gonna have all kinds of time to read. I've definitely done that.
Like 50 milligrams of melatonin in each page.
Yeah,
That's me. I open a book up and I fall asleep.
me too. That's a big part of why I don't read. Um, he talked about playing basketball a little bit. Of course, I like that. He had the joke. I'm not going to try to say the whole thing because I don't remember it all, but his mind is telling him, I'm gonna cross over, do a spin move, and a graceful finger roll. And he said, my body throws the ball, turns the ball over out of bounds, and
Throws it over
and
somebody's
it's
head out of bounds.
yeah, and it's giggle time. Something like that. Oh man, the testing stuff on rats. He's like, if it doesn't translate to humans, that's rat news.
Is not should not be in a human newspaper.
Right.
That's Mitch Hedberg right there.
Yes.
That does not need to be in a human newspaper.
That's rat news. The reversible belt stuff,
Yeah,
you
that was good.
know. Oh man.
The choo choo, the first Asian choo choo train. That was kind of goofy.
Yeah. Let's see the using enough, starting to use enough lotion, the body lotion, and then you can only use it so much until the pump stops working. And
That's
then you
good.
use
Yeah.
it like a dipstick.
He's
You
like
gotta
it's like buttering toast with a it's like buttering toast with a
chopstick.
chopstick when he's talking about that the expensive eye cream can only be put on with your middle with the ring finger.
Yeah.
It's the
You
laziest
jab
finger. It doesn't pick, it doesn't point, and it doesn't cuss.
it. Oh, that was such a good joke. Oh man. Okay. I mean, I wrote a lot. I wrote way more down on this than I normally do. I really, really like this guy. I'm so glad that you chose this one because he's really good. I mean, he's a really good
Yes.
comedian. Um, I wrote my number down right before you said yours, and I put 4 point and right before I marked the one, I stopped and put a two. I went 4.2 on this.
Nice. So we're right there together on this one.
Right there together.
I like it.
Sheng Wang. I mean, I hope I start seeing him come up other places and seeing more more stuff on the internet, and I'm gonna try to check him out if he's on social media and stuff like that because this guy's good.
Yeah, he's good. All right. Well, Adam, that brings us to next week.
Mm-hmm.
What is do you have a comedy segment picked out?
I do. One I'm really excited about. I sort of accidentally heard like at least 3 or 4 minutes of this already, but it was enough to make me really excited about it. Patton Oswalt, just yesterday, from the time we're recording this, came out with a new special on Netflix. It's called We All Scream.
Patton Oswald, I gotta tell you, man, for being the biggest dork on King of Queens and all the different dorky things he plays, he's really good stand-up comic. He's
Really good.
really good and really funny. Now he is a storyteller, and
Yes.
every story he's going to tell three total stories, but he's got a million punchlines in every story, and he is fun. This see. Here's where I get myself in trouble. I get excited. I'm getting excited about
Yeah.
this one, and it's going to let me down. I got to no, not thinking anything going into this. All right,
Yep.
Patton
Yeah.
Oswalt. Is it on
Expectation.
Netflix?
It's on Netflix. Yep. Yep. We all scream. Um, yeah, it was cool because I there's a Netflix, I think it's Netflix as a joke podcast that you can get on iTunes, and it's like every day they post one joke from a comedy special or something. And usually it's like if somebody comes out with a new special, like they post that one as soon as possible. So it's like, anywhere between a minute and 5 minutes or 6 minutes or something like that, depending on whatever joke they choose. So this one, they played one of his jokes. um I mean, I'm not going to tell you what the joke is because I want you to hear it, but really, really funny. And you're right, it was a story, and he said 15 funny things in 4 minutes about it.
Yes.
So I'm excited. You're right, though. Expectations get us in trouble sometimes. So I'm going to try not to get too overhyped too, but I'm with you on that.
That sounds good. All right, that sounds good, brother. So here's my question for you.
Yeah.
Have we done the Mount Rushmore of Gatorade flavors?
Ooh, I'm going to say no.
All right, that's what we're doing. Mount Rushmore Gatorade flavors. I drink Gatorade so much it's not even funny.
My dad will chime in on this one. He likes the Mount Rushmore segment on this podcast,
Yeah.
and he's a Gatorade drinker.
All right, there you go. I'm
Sw-
excited to hear what his four are then.
He switched from pop to Gatorade.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. I'm trying. I still have pop some a little too often, but
I
trying
feel
my
you.
best.
I feel you. I give me a ginger ale, give me a root beer still sometimes. Yeah.
That's the two grossest things you could ever drink.
those are my two those are my two pops, man. Those are the two
Oh,
sodas I want.
good. I'm gonna start coming to your house, so I'll never drink pop.
There you go. I got plenty of water here too.
There you go. All right, man.
Sometimes
Well,
some
that,
chocolate milk.
that sounds good, dude. I think we're good to go. That's wrapped up nice and quick today, my friend.
Nice tight one today. Yes,
I
sir.
like it. I like it. All right. So next week, Patton Oswald, We All Scream, and Mount Rushmore Gatorade flavors, and let's see what happens with we've got coming up towards the end of the baseball season. But the big part, we can talk about the playoffs maybe next week a little bit. But we also have the NBA starting on Sunday at training camps. So
Mhm.
you're going to get a lot of stuff talking about this guy, whoever owns the who is it? What team does he
Phoenix
own?
Suns.
The Suns.
Yeah.
We're going to hear about that. He officially came out today and said that he's going to sell hit that team and the girls team too.
Seemed
So
inevitable.
yeah. So anyway, there'll be stuff like we got a lot of things that could be coming up. Aaron Judge, Albert Pujols. Um, yeah. So until next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on.